back to the west, I presume that's Chestnut that Tom was alluding to, and it could provide for better circulation in general for the area. Right now you have a series of roads that just go down and dead end, and the commission, at least a few of the commissioners, expressed the concern that they felt it was appropriate for development to occur, as Tom said, in an orderly fashion, with access being improved incrementally over time. If we're not going to get the major subdivision to go in there and do it, we're going to have to seek ways of doing that through incremental development.
Yeah. How close is this property, roughly speaking, to the city of Fort Bragg? Yeah, I know.
I think, again, you look on page PC 12, and you go off to the west from the property, and there's a much bolder line where it says local responsibility area beyond that. I think that's roughly the city limit boundary.
So is it a quarter mile, half a mile?
That's the map right here.
Maybe there's a better map that shows it.
Oh, it's close. Okay.
So it's probably only about a quarter mile.
Quarter mile. That was my first guess. So do you have concerns that an approval of this would create a precedent in this area?
I think if you have county council here, they're going to advise you there's no such thing as precedent in your role as decision maker, but I think in the public eye, certainly there is.
My other issue is, and we don't have anyone here specifically to address it, but perhaps Mr. Peters could come close, and that is with respect to fire and emergency service response and the ability to, not to access the light-of-way site, which it says here, the fire chief has said that is, he feels comfortable with doing that, but it's in terms of developing the site and going further in if you don't change the road width currently. And in discussing it with him, he does have concerns about the idea of the 4-unit subdivision and creating the fire emergency service response. Is that part of what your department has a concern with respect to road standards?
Tom Peters. Well, yes, I think that's a part of it. Emergency response is part of orderly development, and they have a very good picture of the road right at the throat there, where it's narrowest, of 2 big pickups, and they still have their outer wheels on the pavement and their mirrors aren't touching. But if you get 2 fire trucks trying to go in and out, maybe get to a hydrant, and another one's trying to get in, then I don't think there might not be enough room fence to fence there. So
I think that was the fire chief's concern about in an emergency situation, a fire situation. It would be in this straight line, individuals trying to get out and one's trying to get in. That could be problematic. Okay, thank you.
Other comments, questions from the board? Supervisor Pinchot.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick comment. If the way it stands now, the Planning Commission denied this without prejudice, so if we would uphold the Planning Commission decision, it would give the applicant with another year to try to work out the issue on the road.
If it's denied without prejudice, they could come in at any time, even within that year.
That's what I'm saying, wouldn't it? But it gives them up to a year, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Okay, seeing no additional questions to the staff or the applicant, I'll close the public hearing, bring this matter back to the board for direction action. What's the action of the board? Supervisor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think in light of all of the comments here, Supervisor, the action that Supervisor Pinchot just alluded to is probably the most appropriate one. If there was just one issue to resolve, I think we could try to zero in on what that issue is and see if we could come up with some condition and get it resolved. But I think that there are a number of them, and I think for the most latitude for the applicant, because I concur, this is an excellent area for development if conditions can be met, and we do need those 1-acre parcels or 2-acre parcels. So My motion would be to deny without prejudice and uphold the Planning Commission's decision, and it would give the applicant the chance to revise this project. That would be my motion.
Okay, there is a motion. Do I hear a second? Second. There is a second. Supervisor Smith and Supervisor Colfax. To the motion, discussion by the board. Okay.
I
Supervisor
support
Finches.
the motion, but I also would like, if, Mr. Chairman, if you could direct staff to, you know, it's apparent, or at least it's been brought to us that we have a parcel, or maybe more than one parcel of land out there that's not being taxed or assigned to assessor's parcel number 2. Could we get the assessor's office, somebody to follow up on that issue? I mean, if somebody owns it, somebody should be paying taxes on it.
I believe that's been well recognized in the discussion, and I'm sure it's being listened to across the hallway there. So if that could be included in the minutes, I appreciate it.
And get a report back on that
Sure.
within a couple of weeks.
All right. Any further discussion on the motion? Let's go to the buttons then and place your votes. Hunter? Okay. Motion passes unanimously 5-0 without prejudice. Thank you very much to the applicants, and good luck.
Thank you for listening and hearing us out.
You bet. We do have a timed item at 3 p.m. I'm going to be daring and take an additional item on item 6D, discussion possible adoption of a resolution authorizing action on Gorse. And who is bringing that forward? Okay. He's probably running as we speak.
It's his usual.
There he is.
His usual
See?
form.
He's not even breathing hard, that young buck. Mr. Kaler, thank you very much for your quick response.
Good afternoon, Chairman, board members. My name is Paul Kaler. I'm the Deputy Chief Executive Officer. We're here to talk about a resolution regarding Gorst. As a quick review, last August 2007, the Board of Supervisors referred the issue of Gorst and its eradication on the Mendocino coast to the Public Resources Committee. On September 10th, 2007, the Public Resources Committee cleared that item and directed staff prepare a resolution defining what the county's concerns were and staff actions regarding Gorst. On April 22nd, 2008, the Board of Supervisors considered a proposed Gorst resolution. The matter was continued in order that more information on herbicide spraying be provided to the Board of Supervisors. In your packet today is a resolution as well as a memorandum from the Ag Commissioner. And I know that Dave's listening right now, so he'll be on his way over to talk about this item also. I think that the memo from the Ag Commissioner gives the board members details regarding how herbicide will be applied and Gorst will be treated. As we presented last month when we discussed this item, that the Gorst is going to be treated in a spot application. There are experts here that know a lot more about Gorst eradication than I do, but the way that I understand that this is going to happen is the Gorst will be mechanically masticated or chewed up, and then herbicide